The Magic Swords. The Magical Swords Record of Two Friends. Adventurous Stories for Kids. Written by Jeff Child. Narrated by John H. Feskins. Introduction. Two friends, two swords. The one turns you evil, the other good. Two friends find them and decide to take one home each, but one of them turns evil, they end up fighting each other, but will one of them be able to break free from the curse of the sword? Chapter 1. Friendship. Ethan and Lucas looked at each other. They were in Vine Village. It was crazy to think how long they had dealt with these annoying zombies in the past. They grew up together, and although both of them were completely interested in marrying a girl someday, they often hung out despite their past relationships. Because sometimes guys talk about guy things and like to do things like fight enemies and pull pranks on others. Some girls don't understand this and call it immature, being a show-off, or macho, but for Ethan and Lucas, it was always a way to have a best buddy in their lives. "Are we going for it?" Lucas asked. "Of course," Ethan replied. "If we're not going to do it, then who will?" "On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah! The both of them stormed at the zombies and began slashing them to pieces. Scared inhabitants in the village watched from their windows while the duo took out the undead and made their environment safe again. "Take this, ugly zombie," Ethan said as he stabbed one. "How many did you kill yet?" Lucas asked while punching a zombie in the face. "Why does everything have to turn into a competition?" Ethan asked. "It doesn't have to. It's just more fun that way. Besides, don't pretend to be so confident. You are always trying to prove yourself by beating me at something. Don't deny it." "Oh, come on, I don't do that. I don't care about how many zombies I've killed." Lucas slashed a zombie's throat and said, "Well, then I win. This is the 13th one. You didn't count yours, so I win." 16, Ethan said while stabbing another zombie with his iron sword. "What was that?" 16. This was number 16, Ethan repeated. "Ah ha ha! So you did count. I knew you were trying to compete. You're going to get it, man. Just wait." After the bloodbath, the two warriors put their swords back into their sheaths and stared at the corpses on the ground, while the village's men, women, and children ran at them, full of gratitude. "How many in total?" Lucas asked. 25. You?" 27, Lucas answered. "Whatever," Ethan said. "Next time you have to tell me how many you killed first. Then I can say a higher number just to show you how much better I am." "Let's not fight about it this time. We are being welcomed by these villagers. Apparently, we just arrived during a zombie outbreak." "You're right, buddy. Let's celebrate," Ethan agreed. Chapter 2. The Journey. The people from Vine Village grabbed the two friends and carried them on their shoulders and cheered loudly. "Long live our heroes! They rescued us from the zombie attacks!" "I could get into this," Ethan said. "Me too. I wonder if there are some beautiful young women in this village," Lucas said. "I haven't had a girlfriend in a long time. It's time that I give relationships another try." "You and me both," Ethan agreed. "My last girlfriend ditched me. She said I was always fighting and hanging out with you too much. She claimed I loved my beautiful sword more than her. Can you imagine that?" "Such nonsense," Lucas said. "Your sword is a piece of junk." "That too. It's time for a new one." "What? A new girlfriend or a new sword?" "Both," Ethan said. After they were being carried into one of the bars to celebrate, Lucas began to flirt a little with one of the ladies, and Ethan ordered some drinks. There was a band, there were lots of people, and everyone was happy. When they sat down next to each other, a man came to them and sat next to them. He was wearing a black cape and a red shirt. His eyes were dark and his hair was light. "I can give you a secret tip if you're into that sort of thing," he said. Lucas turned his head. "What sort of tip?" he asked. "Have you ever heard of the two magical swords in the Outlands?" "Never," Lucas admitted. "The what?" Ethan wanted to know. "The magical swords," Lucas repeated. This guy says he knows where they are. So where are they, mister? You don't think that I would give you that information for free, do you? I have to make a living too. So what are you willing to pay me? Lucas looked at the man with the cape. Then he looked at Ethan. We do need new swords, he whispered to his buddy while putting an arm around a bar girl. What do you think? Sure, Ethan says. Let's get the 2 swords, but I want the best one. Lucas chuckled and told the man, 3 crowns. Now go ahead and tell us. 50, the man said. What? Are you insane? I could buy a sword with that kind of money, a new one. I know, but these swords possess magical powers. Whoever has them will have something much greater than money. Lucas looked at Ethan again. Ethan shrugged. Lucas paused. Then he turned his face to the mysterious man again and said, 30, non-negotiable. Done, the man said. Lucas handed him the coins and demanded to know the location of the supposed swords. That's when the man pulled out a map. He laid it down on the bar and leaned over to the 2 friends. They are right here, he said. I don't go there because it's a dangerous area. Besides, they are both kept in a stone, stuck, until someone pulls them out. It should be fairly easy to grab them, but to get there, you'll have to go past dark shades. So watch out. Thanks, Lucas said. And what magical powers do we get from the swords? I don't know exactly, but the ancient scriptures and books are full of prophecies and facts about these 2 swords. It will be worth your while, trust me. I'll take your word for it, Lucas said. Ethan, we should go tomorrow. Sounds like a good idea, Ethan said. We'll stay at the inn on the other side of town. They celebrated some more that night. A lot of the town's citizens were there to make them feel welcome. After midnight, though, the party died out. People were going home, the music band was leaving, and the 2 friends were getting tired. I'm going to bed, Ethan said. I'll see you in the morning. Lucas waved quickly and didn't stay up much longer. The next day would be a whole new adventure. When Ethan got up and came downstairs, Lucas was already sitting there eating breakfast. He looked up. You're early, Ethan said. In all these years, I guess I have never noticed how much you love the mornings. Who cares? Lucas said. I'm just excited to get a new sword, that's all. Makes sense. So what's for breakfast? Eggs and bacon. There are some beans, too, if you're into that. It's a pretty good inn, I must say. Sure, I'll join you, Ethan said. We'll leave when I'm done, won't we? Yes, we will. They ate their breakfasts and went back to their rooms to get their stuff. Then they set out on a journey to the mountains which the map showed to be the determined location of the 2 swords. After walking for a few hours, Ethan sat down on a rock and took a sip of water. Getting tired, are we? Lucas asked. Not really. I was just thirsty. By the way, have you noticed any dark shades? I haven't. Maybe the dark guy was lying to us? Do you think the map is fake? No, but you are jinxing the peaceful journey we've had so far. Why don't you just shut up about whatever could go wrong? You're right, Ethan said. It is probably better not to mention it before... And then they heard a sound. It was coming from behind the mountain. They both pulled their swords and stood ready to face what was coming. Dark shades were coming down the mountain. They had heard them. They were angry and were running at them fast. You take the right, I'll take the left, Ethan said. Sure, there are more of them on the right, so I'll get more points, Lucas said while stabbing a dark shade. Don't make this a competition again, Ethan said. You know I'll win. The 2 warriors fought for a few minutes and killed the handful of dark shades which came their way. They put their swords away and walked for another hour. When they hiked around the corner of the mountain, they saw something amazing. Chapter 3. Discovery. Ethan and Lucas had walked for a while, and they were finally at the spot where the swords should be, according to the map. The map did not lie. The swords were there. They saw them. Both of them were standing in 2 separate stones, stuck upside down. Wow, Ethan said. The guy was right. There are 2 valuable swords there. Let's go take a look, Lucas said. I can't wait to try them out on more dark shades. Now the dark shades can come, as many as they want." "Don't jinx it," Ethan said. "I already made that mistake. Don't you do the same, please." "Okay, enough with the superstitions. Let's get those swords," Lucas said. He began to walk faster and found himself standing in between the two stones with the two swords in them. They were different. One sword was made out of gold and the other out of diamond. The two friends looked at them. "I'll take the diamond sword," Ethan said. "Oh, no, you don't," Lucas said. "That's the most valuable one. Gold is okay, trust me, but diamond? Come on, I deserve it just as much as you do." "I killed more zombies in dark shades. I need a better sword," Ethan insisted. "Perhaps if I had a better sword, I would be able to keep up with you," Lucas said. "So I definitely deserve it more than you." "Are you admitting that my kill score is higher than yours?" "Yes, it is, and that's why I get the diamond sword." "Ridiculous. I mean, it's not ridiculous that I have more kills on my record, but that this automatically means that you get the diamond sword." "Fine, you can have it," Lucas said. "Are you trying to make me feel guilty?" "You have it," Ethan said. No, you insisted. You wanted it, so just take it," Lucas said. "I can't do that. You're my friend. You can have it." "Okay." And just like that, Lucas pulled the diamond sword out of the stone. Ethan was a little offended by this quick turnaround, but he figured it was his own fault. He sighed and looked at the golden sword. "Still a good sword," he told himself. "Nothing wrong with it." He pulled the golden sword out of the stone and replaced his old sword with it. "Looking good, man," Ethan said. "These swords are awesome. Let's go back to the village." Chapter 4: The Golden Sword. After a long hike downhill and no further disturbances, the two arrived at the village and went straight to the inn. "What do you have there?" the innkeeper asked. "Two awesome swords," Ethan said. "They are really cool. Look, mine is made out of gold, and Lucas has a diamond sword." "You're right," Lucas said. "Mine is so much better than yours." "Huh?" Ethan said. He didn't understand why Lucas was being this way. Why would he take credit for this? He shoved the thought aside. "Let me see those," the innkeeper said. He reached towards the two friends, and Ethan gladly handed his sword over to the curious stranger. "Very nice," the innkeeper said as he held it. "What about yours?" he asked Lucas. "You don't have to hold it," Lucas said. "You asked to see it. Seeing is something you do with your eyes, buddy." "Oh, come on, Lucas," Ethan said. "Just let the man hold your sword for a few seconds." "No," Lucas said. "Don't touch it. It's mine and mine alone." Ethan was surprised by this possessive attitude, but he didn't know what to say anything about it. The innkeeper thought Lucas was joking and leaned forward. He reached for Lucas's sword, but Lucas stepped back. "Please," the innkeeper said. "I just want to see it, that's all. It's a diamond sword. I have never held one of those before." "Don't touch it," Lucas said. The innkeeper came a little closer and then almost tripped. What happened then was a mystery to everyone in the inn. Lucas pulled his sword within a split of a second and cut the innkeeper in his chest. "Ow!" the innkeeper exclaimed. "Ow! Ow!" "What have you done?" Ethan shouted. "You just wounded him. What's wrong with you?" I don't know," Lucas admitted while stepping back and holding his sword in front of him. Everyone else was staring at him. "Stay away from me! Everyone! Don't come near me!" Lucas yelled. Then he ran out the door. Ethan bowed down and looked at the innkeeper's wound. A million thoughts went through his mind as he tried to decide what to do next. But then he felt some kind of vibration coming from his sword. He looked at it, and it was glowing. It was beautiful, and it was miraculous. Ethan pulled the golden, shiny sword out of its sheath and put it in front of him. Suddenly, a thought came to mind. What if this sword could heal the innkeeper? A healing sword? Nonsense. But the thought stayed with him, so he slowly lifted the point of the blade towards the wound and lightly touched it. The magic of this weapon became evident at that very second. because as soon as the wound was touched, the blood was gone and the innkeeper felt better. He looked at me as if I were a doctor or a miracle worker of some kind. "Thank you," the innkeeper said. "I am healed. Did you just do that with your sword?" "Apparently I did," Ethan said. "What an amazing sword. It heals people." "We have a small hospital near here," the innkeeper said. "If you are willing, I can go with you and we can heal everyone there. What do you say?" "I don't see why not," Ethan said. "It's truly amazing. Who would have thought I could heal people with a sword?" "Did you see this?" Innkeeper shouted when he stood up. He pointed at Ethan's golden sword and tried to get everyone's attention. "I just got healed by a sword! Spread the word!" Everyone remained seated, but they were impressed, so the innkeeper figured they would eventually start talking about it, or perhaps they would tell their wives, and they would certainly gossip all day until everyone would know about it. Ethan didn't hesitate. He knew he had the power to do something good. It was almost like a divine, celestial, angelic gift, this golden sword, as if it descended from the heavens to bless the world. Ethan thought of these spiritual anecdotes while he ran towards the hospital. When he came in, he discussed the matter with the people at the desk. At first, they said he was crazy and that he had to leave. But when the innkeeper, a trusted, well-known man, came in as well and testified of what he had seen, they allowed Ethan to give it a try. The first patient was an old man. Ethan saw him in his bed and asked the doctor what he had. "A terrible disease," the doctor answered. "We're not even sure yet, but it looks like there's gangrene on his feet, and it may be necessary to amputate them." "That does sound terrible," Ethan said. "Let's give this sword another try." "What are you going to do with that, young man?" the patient asked. "Hold still," Ethan said. "This won't hurt a bit." As gently as he could, he touched the patient's feet with his sword. The shining aura from before moved as a shocking burst of energy threw the blade into the man's body. Within seconds, the man's gangrene feet were looking healthy again. "It's a miracle," the doctor exclaimed. "Wow, I have never seen anything like this." "Thank you, young man," the old patient said. "You're very welcome," Ethan said. "Show me the other patients, Doc." No sooner said than done. Ethan was standing next to another patient. Before the end of the day, the entire hospital was empty. The only people who weren't released yet were the personnel who stayed behind to clean up and tidy up. Families and individuals came from all over town to thank Ethan and to take a look at his mind-blowing golden sword. "I do this in all humility," Ethan said. "Please do not give me credit for something that wasn't my doing. This sword fell into my hands, and I am lucky enough to be able to use it for something good." When talking to the people in the village, however, he couldn't help but wonder what had happened to his buddy, Lucas. Chapter 5. The Diamond Sword. Lucas was still running after he attacked the innkeeper. "What is happening to me?" he asked himself. "This is not me. I am usually not this aggressive, especially not to... Well, he asked for it. This is my sword, and it's mine alone. Nobody will take it from me. Nobody!" He wandered through the streets and crashed into a haystack in a remote barn on the outskirts of the village. Then he fell asleep. Nightmares haunted his dreams. Darkness clouded his mind. His will to survive took over, and when the farmer whom the barn belonged to woke him up, Lucas immediately reached for his sword. "Ha!" "Whoa, watch out there," the farmer said. "I don't mean any harm." "Stay away from me," Lucas said. "You were trying to steal my diamond sword, weren't you?" "No, of course not. I'm just curious. You are sleeping in my barn." "Get out of here before I kill you," Lucas said. The farmer ran away. He didn't take any chances. "What a psychopath," he mumbled as he left the barn. Lucas took a good long look at the sword he held in his hands. "Such a pretty blade," he said, "and it's all mine." Smoke ascended from the sword. Black fumes were eerily going into every direction but down. What is that?" Lucas asked. Something stirred inside of him. He loved the feeling he got from holding this weapon. It was like an infusing increment of power, a sudden addition to his being. His strength increased as the adrenaline flowed through his veins. "Power," he mumbled as he bent over. "Pure power." He looked up and his hands turned into some sort of claws. It was as if he was gathering the obscure magical influences from an infernal realm he was unfamiliar with. His body was shaking as he yelled loudly, spreading his legs and looking up. "Ah!" Fiery flames ascended from his body, visible, steamy, demonic creatures which had taken hold of a part of his soul. "If anyone dare to challenge me," he said in a low voice that was not his own, "let him come. I am ready." All this took place in a remote barn, and nobody knew about it, except for the farmer. Chapter 6. Confronted. "Help! Help!" Ethan heard a voice. A man was running at the crowd that had gathered around him. He was terrified and in panic. "Slow down, man," Ethan said when he saw him coming at him. "What's the matter? You seem to be doing fine." "I am fine, you're right, but there is a crazy lunatic in my barn. He has a diamond sword and he threatened to kill me." "Lucas," Ethan said. "It's Lucas. I have to go to him. Show me where your barn is, please." "Come with me," the farmer said. Ethan ran after him, and they ended up in the barn where Lucas was supposed to be. "Where is he?" Ethan asked. "I don't know. He was right here, I swear." Suddenly, they heard a voice from the darkness. "Looking for me?" They turned around and saw Lucas emerge from the shadows. He didn't look like himself. There were big dark bags underneath his eyes. His gaze looked hollow, and the veins in his face, his arms, and his neck had expanded. A blue glow was coming from them, as if his blood had been altered. His skin had taken a darker form, almost unrecognizable for those who knew him. "Lucas," Ethan said, "what happened to you?" "Me? You're asking what happened to me?" Lucas said as he chuckled. "I feel better than ever, my friend. What happened to you? Nice golden sword. Did a cherubim come and patch you up? You look a little pale." "Pale? I feel fine, Lucas. I think you're the one who is out of control. Why are you threatening to kill people?" "He had the guts to look at my diamond sword," Lucas said. "So? What does it matter if someone looks at your sword?" Ethan asked. "It's mine, not his. Mine, mine, mine. Don't you see? He was trying to steal it." "That's not true," the farmer said. "I was planning nothing of the sort. Where do you get this ridiculous nonsense?" "Shut up! Don't you dare look at my sword. It's mine, and I will protect it with my life." "Just listen to yourself," Ethan said. "This is not you, Lucas. I don't know what happened to you, but that sword is consuming you. It has taken control of you. Give it up."
"Never. If you were my friend, you wouldn't say such things."
"Come on, Lucas, hand over the sword," Ethan said a little louder. "It's eating you up."
"Hand it over? Hand it over? What, so you can take possession of it? You're just like the others, aren't you?"
"No, you don't understand. I just want you back the way you used to be."
"But I have power. Power beyond anyone's imagination. This sword is the best thing that ever happened to me. Ha 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 ha."
As soon as Lucas said these words, a creepy wind blew through the barn, as if the elements were shaking by the exclamations of this possessed person.
"You want the sword, Ethan? Come and get it."
"Don't do this, Lucas. We are friends. We shouldn't try to kill each other."
"That friendship was gone when you told me you wanted the sword for yourself," Lucas said.
Chapter 7. The Duel. There they were, facing each other in a farmer's barn. The two friends who had always been defending each other were now about to kill each other. It was a dark, dreary moment when they both pulled their swords and were standing ready to fight. "His diamond sword will break your golden sword," the farmer advised Ethan. "You don't stand a chance." "The forces of good are with me," Ethan said. "Lucas is going down."
Yeah!
Lucas yelled as he came at Ethan. Ethan quickly moved away and evaded his attack. They battled for several minutes, hacking at each other and clinging blades. They came close to each other. Their swords were stuck. Ethan looked at Lucas and said, "I let you have that sword, remember? I told you to take it. Now why would I want it back? It's all yours. I don't care about it. I am happy with mine."
"Everyone is always out to get me," Lucas said. "You, all of you, will pay."
Immediately after those words, Lucas broke Ethan's sword in half. Ethan fell on the ground and Lucas was about to stab him. But then the farmer threw a rock at Lucas's hand and Lucas dropped the sword. His demeanor changed instantly. The dark aura and the dark skin disappeared. The sword was on the ground and so was Ethan. When Ethan reached for the sword, Lucas stopped him and said, "No, don't touch that thing. It's evil." Ethan left it alone. He didn't want anything to do with the diamond sword. He looked at it for a few seconds and then embraced his friend. "Good to have you back, Lucas. I was wondering when you were going to be yourself again." "I don't know what came over me," Lucas said. "I'm just glad that I haven't killed anyone." "Well, now we have a broken sword and an evil sword," Ethan said. "So we'll have to find new swords again." "What are we going to do with them?" "Perhaps a blacksmith can fix the golden one. And the other one? I don't know. We shouldn't even touch it. Let's just bury it and put it into the ground with our shovels." "Good idea," Lucas said. "And where shall we get new swords?" "I'm pretty sure we can find something. It's always an adventure with you." "I think I've had enough swords for a few days. Let's go flirt with the ladies." "Ha ha! Now I really know it's you. The evil Lucas would never say something like that." The two left the barn and went to the inn. But the farmer was still standing there, still, wondering what to do. "An evil sword, huh?" the farmer said to himself. "I guess they forgot to bury it. The diamond blade looks nice. I wonder if I could..." The end. This has been The Magic Swords, the magical swords record of two friends, Adventurous Stories for Kids. Written by Jeff Child, narrated by John H. Feskins. Copyright 2017 by Jeff Child. Production copyright 2017 by Jeff Child. War Book for Kids. Epic medieval fiction battles for children. Adventure Stories for Kids. Written by Jeff Child. Narrated by John H. Feskins. Introduction. Jasper lives with his parents. Everything seems peaceful in Topoville, the village where he lives. At first it does. But when a mysterious liquid is discovered that gives the cattle superpowers, Jasper gets suspicious. Is the new product really that great, or is there more to it? And why does someone from the village of Grindtown come over and mention the patent they have on it? Quickly start listening and find out. Chapter 1. Unusual Animals. He opens his eyes and hears the birds chirp. It's a peaceful day, a quiet new beginning of another sunrise, another list of tasks, and another joyous opportunity to do something good in the world. Jasper has been living with his parents all his life. He loves them to pieces, but he is about that age when he feels ready to leave home. His job at the farm has been sufficiently useful to make a living and save up some money, so he can go live on his own. When he gets to the kitchen, he sees his mother, who put a lot of effort into the elaborate breakfast she is about to serve. "Have a seat," she says. "You need to eat well before you go to that job of yours. You don't want to pass out with your face in cow dung." "No, Mom, I understand," Jasper says. And dress up a little. It's chilly outside. Yes, Mom. Jasper's father enters the room. He compliments his wife on the terrific food she cooked and sits down. He leans over to his son and says, "Remember, boy, always behave. You never know when that farmer will help you find connections in Grindtown. They are doing a lot better than we are, economically speaking." "Yes, I've heard," Jasper says. "What's their secret?" "They're genetically manipulating animals to speed up their production processes. It wouldn't surprise me if they would buy every farm in Topoville." "Why did you decide to live in Topoville, Dad?" Jasper asks. "Well, for one thing, I grew up here. I met your beautiful mother in this town and we got married here. Why would we leave?" "Perhaps because there are better opportunities elsewhere," Jasper says. Okay, his father says. "It's true that they're better off as we speak, but it's also true that there are people in this village who are doing the same thing." "Really? I didn't know that," Jasper says. "Yes, it's true," his mother confirms. "I've heard the women talk. Some of them said their cows produce twice as much milk as the usual amount, and it has been like that since they used the new stuff." "The new stuff?" "Yes, I don't know what it is called, but it's highly effective." "Wow, I'll ask my boss about it," Jasper says. "I will be milking the cows in an hour, so perhaps I will see the results of that stuff too, won't I?" "Of course, if the farmer you work for uses it." Jasper finishes his breakfast and kisses his mother on the cheek. He says goodbye to both his parents and opens the front door. The weather is beautiful. The sun is shining, and a few lonely clouds form the decor of the sky he is so familiar with. Jasper considers himself lucky, being where he's at. His parents allow him to build up some finances, so he can stand on his own 2 feet. He is an only child, and is used to nothing else. Sometimes he wonders what it would have been like to have a brother or sister, but he knows that he can only speculate. After some time, Jasper reaches the farm.
"Hi there, Jasper," the farmer says with a friendly smile. "Ready to start working? We've got lots to do."
"Ready, sir," Jasper says.
"Oh, how many times have I told you to quit all the sir stuff? Just call me Theo. That's my name and it's good enough."
"Sure," Jasper says. "What would you like me to do?"
"Feed the pigs, feed the chickens, take care of the hay over there, and clean up the horse
"Got it," Jasper says. "The horseshoes, right?"
Yes, that's what I was going to say," Theo says.
"And what about the cows?"
"Oh, the cows. I almost forgot about them. Come, I have to show you something."
Theo takes Jasper to his barn and points at the cows. Jasper can hardly believe what he sees. The cows are lined up 2 by 2 like a bunch of school children crossing the street. The 2 cows in front of the line are organized and capable enough to stand above a bucket, squirt out the milk, and then move on to their assigned spaces in the barn. There are a few dozen buckets lined up, and the cows recognize when they are full enough so that they can fill up the next bucket. "Incredible," Jasper admits. "How did you make them do that?"
"Simple," the farmer says. "I just put this in their water."
Theo holds up a bottle with the inscription "Magnetotius Liquid" on it. Jasper is smart enough to understand that this is probably the product everyone has been talking about. Theo gives him the bottle, and Jasper takes a long, hard look at it. "Interesting," he says. "So it makes the cows smarter, does it?"
"Not just smarter, they produce more. It's great. It's affordable, and it doubles or even triples my profits. It first started as a trend in Grindtown, but now it has finally reached the market here in Topoville, so I'm going to use it for everything."
"Makes sense," Jasper says. "So now my workload has been downsized, hasn't it?"
"Yes, but I'm going to give you the same salary. It's easy for me to finance my farm, so I can do that, and I will."
"Thank you, sir," Jasper says.
"Jasper, enough with the sir thing already."
"Oh, sorry, Theo. No worries." That night, Jasper finds his parents asleep when he gets home. He goes upstairs and lets himself fall on the bed. It was a lazy day. "Oh, so great," Jasper thinks. "Less work and the same money. It couldn't get any better." And he is right, because it won't. It's going to get
worse. Chapter 2. Declaration of War. The next day it seems like another lovely day, but Jasper has a strange feeling that it isn't. Something is wrong. It's as if the birds are sensing the impending doom, a bad omen that creeps him out. He watches some of the crows hop around nervously on a tree branch and notices the silence of the birds, mixed with an eerie gush of wind coming his way. He gets dressed and walks outside. Topoville is quiet. It's unusual. Where did everybody go? He listens carefully, sensing a vague sound in the distance. Voices are talking. They must be over there, Jasper concludes. As fast as he can, he runs towards the other side of the village. He sees a big crowd. It seems like everyone has gathered in one spot. On a small stage, there is a man he has never seen before. He is holding a speech, addressing the crowd. "People of Topoville," he says, "I am a messenger from Grindtown. I have called for a meeting to inform you of our privileges. We have a patent on magnetodious liquid, an exclusive right to be the only distributor of this product. Therefore, all production and distribution of the said liquid is forbidden in this town. You may not use it, and you may not buy it unless from us. Understood?" But the Topoville townspeople got angry. "Who are you to tell us what we can and can't do?" one of them says. "That stuff has been the best thing that has ever happened to my farm," another says. "I finally paid off my loan because the cows produce more," another voice says. "I don't care," the guy on the small stage says. "I have my orders. We invented it, and we hold the exclusive right to sell it." "But that's not fair," one of the farmers yells. "Let me be clear, whatever your name is. If you don't comply with these demands, we will attack your village." People are getting a little scared, but they are desperate as well. The town's economy hasn't been very good, so this substance was like a savior to them. But now that Grindtown claims all the rights to it, they are still left without anything. They all look at each other. Then one of the farmers says, "Then so be it. Bring your troops to this village. We'll be ready to face them. You are not going to take away our means to live." The man on the stage looks furious. "You don't know what you're saying," he yells. "You will be swept away from the face of the earth. We will kill you all. Accept our demands or die." "We have as much right to reproduce this stuff as you have," a farmer yells back. "Now get out of here before we kill you first." The man sees the severity of the situation and jumps off the stage. He runs for his life, exiting the village. The war has begun. The conflict has started. Chapter 4. Evacuation. "What the?" Jasper says. "What's going on here?" The villagers' gaze shifts to an army behind the original army, an army of pigs. But the pigs aren't simply walking into the Topoville village. They are running and raging, breathing heavily and having an aggressive look in their eyes. At first, the entire group doesn't know what to think of it. Where did these dumb pigs come from? But then it happens. One of the pigs attacks a villager by jumping in his face. Another pig kicks away a sword and picks it up. Then it chases down the villager who runs for his life. "Did that pig just learn how to fight with a sword?" Jasper asks. Farlar scratches his head, but before he knows it, a pig swings an axe at him. "Whoa," Farlar says. He defends himself by evading and blocking the pig's assaults, but quickly finds himself surrounded by more vicious pigs, who are ready to take him down. "Pull back! Evacuate the village!" Farlar yells. "Let's get out of here!" Like an infectious disease, the villagers spread hastily across the village, being chased by ferocious pigs with bloodlust in their eyes. Dozens of pigs are attacking the Topoville men, but none of them bother Grindtown's little army. Jasper looks at the scene for a second and realizes these pigs have been programmed or trained somehow to defend Grindtown's soldiers.
He doesn't want to stay here, though, so he hurries to his parents' house. He barges in and swings the door open. "Mom! Dad!" he shouts. "Are you there?" No answer. Jasper goes to the basement and looks around. "Anyone here?" he asks. But it is empty. There is nobody there. Where did they go? Jasper asks himself out loud. He hopes they didn't die or got taken. Why would they not hide in the basement? That's what they said they would do. Jasper is puzzled. He leaves the house and is shocked at what he sees. Chapter 5. Takeover. Jasper watches in horror as people are being dragged out of their houses. Men, women, and children are being surrounded by soldiers and aggressive pigs, which don't attack them, but are intelligently standing by as if they understand the soldiers' orders. People on all sides of the village are being brought to the streets and threatened by Grindtown's army. Commands are being yelled. "Stay down," and "Don't move" are common phrases. "What are you going to do with us?" one woman asks. "Mommy, I am scared," a kid says. "We won't kill you," the soldier says. "We will take you as prisoners to our town, and until those stubborn pigs, no offense to you pigs, whom you call your leaders will accept our agreement, you're just going to have to stay there." Jasper figures he should probably get out of there before they see him and capture him too. He hides in the corner and wonders why his parents didn't just do the same thing. He waits. After some time, all the soldiers are gone, and so are the villagers from his hometown. Jasper comes out of his hiding spot and goes to the main square. It's quiet, but he senses that there are others there. "You can come out now," Jasper yells. "I know some of you are hiding here." It takes a few seconds, but then he sees a handful of men come out of their hiding places and meet him at the square. "Our families have been captured," one of them complains. "I know," Jasper says. "My parents were taken too." Farlar is among the men. "I am sorry that I was hiding," he says. "I just didn't know how to fight these pigs. It was as if they somehow got smarter and stronger. They became like us because—" "They gave them magnetodious liquid," Jasper says, filling him in. "What?" Farlar asks. "Do you think they used that stuff to turn those pigs against us and use them in combat?" "That's exactly what I think." "So what do we do?" "You're asking me? I thought you were such a good strategist." "Oh, yes, you're right. Let me think for a second. There must be some way we can defeat those dangerous pigs. Any suggestions?" "Well, I could eat some pork right now," one of the men says. "I'm starving." Everybody laughs. They forget the dire situation for a moment, but then one of them says, "Use their stuff against them. I want my family back." "You're right," Farlar agrees. "We just don't have a lot of pigs." "I have a ton of cows," another man says. "We can feed it to them." "But we already did, and did they turn out the same way as the pigs?" "They're bigger. Perhaps they just need more." "You may be right. Let's get all the magnetodious we can get," Farlar says. "Meet me at the big barn on the south side of the village." As fast as they can, the farmers hurry to get the liquid and meet at the barn. There they see about 40 cows, all smart enough to do what they do, get milk into the buckets, and then go to the next. Jasper is standing behind the group, quietly observing what is going to happen. 12 men are waiting for Farlar to give the orders. "Feed them the stuff," he says after a while. One of the farmers pours the liquid into the water. Then they let the cows go. The cows are coming to drink their water. They are incredibly thirsty. Within just a few minutes, all the water is gone. Some of the cows burp loudly. The farmers look at them with big eyes. Then they change. The cows line up, and some of them put one of their front hoofs on their foreheads, almost like an army salute. "Cows, can you hear me?" Farlar asks. The cows all nod. "Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth?" Another nod. "And are you just nodding for no reason?" All the cows shake their heads. "Good.
I can't believe I am asking this to a bunch of cows, but will you please help us?
The cows nod, and Farlar continues.
As you may have noticed, we have been under attack. Okay, maybe you didn't notice then. Fine. But we are, and the people who did it are in Grindtown. They have taken our wives and children, and we will liberate them. Will you do that?
The cows nod again.
Then follow me.
Where are we going? Jasper asks.
To the enemy,
Farlar says with a determined look in his eyes. All the cows walk behind Farlar, followed by the farmers. But what's the strategy? Jasper wants to know.
There is no strategy. Men, we are going to barge in and take what's ours. Let's go!
Chapter 6. Prisoners. The group walks through the green hills, holding their pitchforks, shovels, axes, and swords. After a few hours, they arrive at Grindtown. The streets of the town are busy. Nobody is expecting these men to come after them, and certainly not with an army of 40 cows. They go through the front gate, unashamed and unafraid, ready to fight for their lives and those of their families, for their rights and freedoms, for their fate, for their future, for their... well, you get the point.
Attack!
Farlar yells, holding up his sword in the air. The men barge in and begin to attack the men defending the village. The cows jump on some of them and hold them to the ground. Some of the cows take their weapons. It's total chaos. But that's not all. One of the villagers from Grindtown gets the pigs. A big battle between pigs and cows takes place. The attacks are so fierce and aggressive that most of the villagers from both towns stop fighting and just watch the animals do their thing. Whoa, Jasper says. They are the best. He stops beating up a guy in front of him, and they both look at the battle between the animals. That's intense, the other guy says. Shall we stop fighting each other? Sounds good to me, Jasper says. I never cared about that, what's it called again, in the first place? Magnetodius, the guy says. Yes, I didn't either, but the townspeople wanted us to fight for their patent. I just kind of went along with it. You too? Another man from Grindtown asks. I was told that you guys wanted to kill us and that we should strike first before it was too late. What a bunch of filthy lies, Jasper says. Who is responsible for this? His voice becomes so loud that the others look his way. Everyone stops fighting. Well, at least all the people. The animals continue. Who spread all those lies about Topoville? Jasper asks out loud. Some of the men from Grindtown shrug. They have no idea. I was told that you stole the recipe from us for that substance. The, what's it called? Magnetodius! All men shout in chorus. Oh, yes, that. Anyway, is that not true? No, it isn't, Jasper says. I want to know who is responsible for all these false rumors. I heard it from the mayor, one man says. We should ask him. Follow me, Jasper says, as he walks towards the town's hall. Without hesitating, all the men from both villages put down their weapons and go after Jasper. The animals are still fighting, but nobody cares. They want to know how this started and where to find answers. But then, out of the blue, a woman screams. Ah! What's going on? Jasper wants to know. Look at the pigs and cows. They are all dead. Jasper gets curious and walks back. In the middle of the dirt road, the farm animals all dropped to the ground. They died, but it doesn't seem like they died because they killed each other. Something else was going on. There is something wrong with these animals, Jasper says. Yes, of course, the woman responds. They're dead. Yes, but why? Just a minute ago they were alive and well.
Maybe they were really good at fighting, Farlar suggests.
Jasper looks at the animals again and bends over. He touches one of the cows. No, that's not it, he says. Look, they're poisoned. It's like they had an overdose of that stuff. Gentlemen, I don't think Magnetodius is a safe product to feed to our animals.
Seriously? One farmer asks. It was too good to be true, wasn't it?
I'm afraid so. Now let's go to the mayor and find out more about this. They turn around and head to the town's hall. When they try to open the door, they find out it is locked. Figures, Jasper says. Let's kick it in. After the well-intended attempts by a few feeble men to kick it in, someone brings a shovel and hits the lock. The doors open up, and the men enter the town's hall. They spread throughout the building looking for the mayor, but he is nowhere to be found. Jasper and Farlar are in the kitchen when someone reports that the place is empty.
Fine, you can go. Maybe the mayor is somewhere else,
Farlar says. The guy leaves and Jasper looks at the kitchen floor.
What are you looking for? Farlar asks. Leftover food?
No, don't you feel it? The kitchen floor over there is solid and it makes a different sound when you walk there. This part is almost like it's, well, hollow, I guess. Come and walk over here, then you'll understand what I mean.
Farlar takes a few steps. Wow, you're right, he says. So what do you think is underneath here?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out, Jasper says. He takes a shovel and bashes it through the floor. He listens again and then removes a small rug from the corner. Underneath it, there is a hatch. Bingo, Jasper says. Farlar, I think we found the mayor's secret. They both climb down the ladder, which they see when they open the hatch. They drop onto the floor and see a vague light in the distance. Without further ado, they walk to the light.
Stop right there, they hear.
Mr. Mayor, Jasper says, I could have known it was you. Where did you hide the prisoners? Don't tell me you don't know. The duo slowly walks into the light and notices that the mayor is holding a woman in his left arm and a needle in his right hand. He is pointing the needle at her neck, as if he's holding her hostage.
Julia, Farlar says, you evil villain, let go of her.
Is this your wife? Jasper asks. I'm guessing it is, the mayor says, and you will be the first one to witness the beautiful, amazing effect of our magnetodious liquid on a human being. No, stop, Jasper says. It's not safe. The animals, they all got sick and died. Don't do it, it will kill her. Ah, do you think I didn't know about that? The mayor asks.
What?
You knew? Farlar and Jasper ask at the same time. Of course. I just haven't tested it on humans yet. Maybe animals aren't strong enough, but with our brain capacity, why not test it out?
Oh, no, you won't,
Farlar suddenly says. He takes a small rock from the corner of the dusty basement floor and throws it at the mayor, right in the face. Ouch, the mayor says. Jasper jumps at Julia, Farlar's wife, and pins her to the ground to keep her from harm's way. As the mayor slowly tries to get up, Farlar runs over to him and kicks him down again.
I should kill you right now, he says. You tried to kill my wife.
I am simply trying to make her life better, the mayor says. Don't you see? This could be the solution to our problems. We will be better, stronger, more intelligent, and... All of a sudden, the mayor reaches over to the needle and grabs it. He inserts the fluids into his own neck and begins to shake. Jasper, Farlar, and Julia stand back. They are nervous to come closer. What did you do, you idiot? Jasper asks. You're going to die. No, I'm not, the mayor says, with a creepy, mischievous change in his voice. I feel better than ever. I am powerful beyond your imagination. I am...
Super Mayor? Farlar asks, almost with a smirk on his face.
The evil laughter won't stop. The mayor is totally losing it. But what's more, his muscles multiply tenfold, revealing the shape of his arteries and veins. His teeth are becoming sharper and bigger, and his eyes are glowing red. Nobody can stop me now, the mayor says in a monstrous voice. Farlar jumps in front of him and makes a futile attempt to take him down with his weapon, but the mayor just slaps him so hard that he falls against the wall. Jasper and Julia step back and watch the mayor walk towards the ladder without paying further attention to the two. "Well, that could have gone better," Jasper admits. "Where do you suppose we find the prisoners?"
"They must be around here somewhere," Fowler says. "I don't think he locked them up on the other side of town and then dragged Julia all the way over here. Speaking of which..."
He finally lets his guard down and looks at his wife, who gives him a hug and a kiss and tells him how happy she is that he came and that he is still alive. Jasper feels like the third wheel, so he takes the lantern in the corner of the basement and starts looking around. "Remember the hatch?" he says. "I bet you that there is something like that in here." "Oh, there is," Julia says. "There is a secret door. The mayor took me through it when he brought me to this room. It's over there. See?" She leans against the wall, and another wall slides open. "Wow," Jasper says. "And are the others behind this wall?" "Yes, just take the stairs down into the cave."
Chapter 7. The Monster.
The three of them go down the stairs and find the prisoners. With the lantern, they are able to see ahead of them. The dark, dreary cave is no place for human beings, with its moisture and shadowy, rocky prison cells. "Mom? Dad? Are you there?" Jasper asks. "Jasper?" he hears from the darkness. He holds his light into the direction from which it came. Within a second or two, he sees his mother and father. "I'm glad to see you," Jasper says. "Are you okay? Where are the keys?" "We're fine, son," his dad says. "The keys should hang on a nail on the wall somewhere over there. The mayor keeps them there because nobody can reach them." Jasper walks to the wall his dad is pointing at and finds the keys. "No problem," he says. "I'll get you out in a minute." He turns the keys and gets all the prisoners out. Men, women, and children come out of the prison cells. It takes some time, but after a while, they all follow the three villagers up the stairs and out of the basement. One by one, they climb the ladder, exit the kitchen, and get outside the town's hall. "It's perfectly safe," Jasper assures them. "The two towns aren't at war anymore. Some of the cows and pigs have died, but fortunately, we are at peace now. All I am concerned about is the mayor. He turned into a monster of some kind, but I don't know where he is."
"Watch out!"
Farlar suddenly yells. Behind Jasper, the mayor, who has become 3 times bigger than the average human being, bangs his fists on the ground, almost hitting Jasper and knocking over a few people around him. "Whoa! Where did he come from?" Jasper asks.
"From the roof," Farlar says. "He jumped here from the roof. I tried to warn you."
"Well, never mind that," Jasper says as he draws his sword. "Come on, Mr. Mayor, give it your best shot."
"Mwahaha! You think you can defeat me?" the mayor asks in his oh-so-freaky voice. "All of you combined would be no match for me."
"Oh, yeah?" Jasper says, as he dashes forward and tries to stab the mayor. The mayor grabs his sword with his giant fist and breaks it into 1,000 pieces. The other townspeople are surprised and shocked at the same time. They step back and watch the fight between the hero and the villainous creature that used to be a mere man. Jasper doesn't stand a chance. The mayor monster kicks Jasper against a wall. "Oof!" Jasper exclaims. The mayor comes closer and laughs again.
"You are a stubborn one, little man. Any last words before I crush you to pieces?"
Jasper can't think of anything, but before he can beg for his life, something unexpected happens. The mayor stands still for a few seconds, apparently not feeling very well, and then he falls down just like that. Thud! The ground shakes as he hits the pavement. The monster is out. The mayor is dead. "I knew it would only be a matter of time," Jasper says, extremely relieved that he didn't get crushed. "Phew, the timing couldn't have been better." The crowd comes closer and observes the dead body of the humongous being the mayor has turned into. They are in awe.
"Let's celebrate," Farlar shouts. The towns are united. The substance won't be produced anymore. I say let's have a big party.
Yes, let's do it, everyone agrees.
Good job, Jasper's mother says. You were very courageous back there.
Thanks, Mom. What do you think, Dad?
Honestly, boy, I just think you were lucky. Nothing more. Ha ha ha.
What?
Oh, I'm just kidding. Don't take it too seriously. Let's party.
Thanks, Dad. I guess.
The end.
This has been War Book for Kids, Epic Medieval Fiction Battles for Children, Adventure Stories for Kids. Written by Jeff Child. Narrated by John H. Feskins. Copyright 2017 by Jeff Child. Production copyright 2017 by Jeff Child. Viking Myth, the epic tale of a lumberjack and his magic hammer. Kids' Adventure Stories. Written by Jeff Child. Narrated by John H. Feskins. Introduction. Jack is a lumberjack. He loves his work. He chops wood all day and picks out the best trees, but recently the forest has disappeared. He is devastated and desperate for a new solution to feed his family. He ventures into the wilderness, looking for other resources. Meanwhile, a magical object is about to be found by this honest, zealous husband and father. An object with hidden powers stronger than he could have imagined. Will he be able to control the elements with his new tool? Above all, will this be enough to provide for his family? Find out and listen to more about this unusual story about a simple man in a challenging adventure. Chapter 1. Family Matters. I am tired, one of the kids said. That's because you have been walking around being beautiful all day, Shelley, Jack said. Sure, Dad. No, I'm serious, Jack said. If I were a young man and single, I would marry you in a heartbeat. Okay, honey, his wife Elizabeth said. That's enough. Besides, it's bedtime. Jack and Elizabeth's 7 children climbed on their laps in front of the fireplace and waited for the long-desired story time. Each night, Jack would tell a different story. Some of them were funny, others scary or adventurous. It was like he had a never-ending imagination and a knack for doing voices. The kids would listen carefully and get into it completely. None of them liked the to-be-continued stories, since they were anxious to hear the ending. But sometimes Jack was so tired that he indicated to his wife that the day was over. After yet another intriguing narrative, Elizabeth told their 4 daughters and 3 sons to go to sleep. And don't stay up talking for so long this time, she warned the oldest 2. No worries, Mom, they said at the same time. Jack and Elizabeth talked for a while and went to bed. They were deeply enough, even after so many children, especially after so many children. They supported each other and were satisfied with their marriage. Nothing seemed to be able to get in the way of their happiness. But something went wrong. The next morning, Jack went to work in the forest. His job as a lumberjack was fulfilling. He gained some muscle and liked the feeling that he was providing for his family by working hard and getting as many logs sold to the people in the village as he could. The year was tough. The harvest hadn't been as good as in previous years, and all the villagers had been using some of their savings and food storages to get through the cold, hard winter. For Jack, the winter was a good season. There were plenty of trees to be chopped, and everybody needed lumber to keep their homes warm and to cook. But this was a bad day. This day was terrible. Jack stepped outside and gazed at what had been the forest the day before. It was gone. Totally gone. Where did all the trees go? He shook his head in disbelief and looked at the ground. There it was, the cause of this disaster. There had been a fire. The fact that their cottage hadn't been affected by it was a miracle. Some trees were still standing, charred by the fire of the previous night. Jack couldn't believe that they didn't notice anything that night. He must have been really tired, falling asleep and not waking up by the slightest sound or temperature change. He was grateful that his family had been spared, but here was the worst part. Because the trees were gone, his job was gone. And although he had been chopping so many trees in the past weeks, there was no way he could sell some of these charred pieces of wood. What was he going to do? This had been his profession for years. It had always provided them a solid financial foundation, but now that the forest fire had hit them, they were out of resources. No more wood meant no more money, which meant no food. And starving children was the last thing he wanted on his conscience. After searching the forest and analyzing the damage, he returned home and reported the incident to his wife. "What?" she said in panic. "How can we survive if there is no more wood to chop and to sell?" "I'll try to find a way," Jack said. "You better find a way. Do you realize we have no more food storage? We are out. Out! Well, almost. If we are frugal, we can still squeeze a few meals out of what we have, but after that, it's over." "I know, Elizabeth," Jack said, "and I wished it weren't that way." "So what are you going to do about it?" Jack's wife sneered. "I will do my best." "Your best?" she asked. "Your best may not be enough. What are you going to do?" "Take it easy, Elizabeth," Jack said. "I love you. We'll find a way." He gave her a hug. She hugged him back and apologized for her outburst. She was in tears. It hurt Jack a lot to see her this way, and he was determined to do something about it. After comforting her, he took his axe and left the house, promising her that he would not return until he found a solution. They said goodbye, embraced each other one more time, and watched each other by looking back as Jack walked and walked until he was out of sight. Chapter 2: Mountain Lava. Jack walked for hours. He had no clue where to go, and he hoped that something or someone would guide him through this difficult time. With his big beard and dark overalls, he looked like a rough man. It was never his intention to come across this way, but his wife had told him that it looked cute on him, and that he should keep the beard. His shiny belt was the only thing in his attire that made him stand out as an average-class citizen. He was a little scared to ask for help in the village because of this reason. But his appearance wasn't the reason the villagers rejected his plea for help. The dire circumstances of the previous harvest was the reason, actually, which had left everyone desperately compiling their assets and becoming overly suspicious when others expressed a desire for food, money, or any other useful resource. Jack knocked on one door after another, asking for help and hoping that someone could spare a little grain, a little meat, or a piece of cheese for his family. He received nothing. After a few hundred doors, he gave up. It was pointless, and he knew it. "We don't even have enough for ourselves," was often the answer, and, "Sorry, man, can't. Good luck, though." All the villagers were just as desperate for food as he was. He had to look elsewhere, but the thought scared him. He had never been outside the borders of the land. His knowledge didn't even extend beyond a certain territory. He had no idea what was out there, so a leap of faith was all he could do. He sat on the pavement in one of the streets. Some of the villagers walked by, but ignored him. His head was buried in his hands. Where should he go? All of a sudden, he remembered someone talking about a lake in the north. Surely there must be some trees and plants for him to chop there. It's a lake. Lakes have water. Plants love water. They grow around water. Perhaps there was a forest there. The lake was on the other side of the mountain, though. Who knew what kinds of dangers were lurking beneath the shadow of the mountain? He thought about it. Then he made his decision. He got up and started walking into the direction of the mountain. He hiked for 4 hours. Uh-oh, what was that? Above him, he noticed a glowing substance sliding down and streaming near him. The substance was red, fiery, and hot. He looked at it up close.
Lava! Or the smoke would have choked him a long time ago. But when he started this little exploring journey, he didn't realize that he was walking up a lava mountain. Maybe I should go back, he decided. He dodged some of the lava currents and hopped from rock to rock. Some areas were completely safe, which made his path secure and easy to tread. Other areas were covered in the dangerous stuff. But then, when he was about to turn around, he saw something shiny. An object was hidden behind a small bush, almost blinding him when he looked into its direction. Chapter 3: The Magical Hammer. Jack came closer and got more curious. What could that glimmering object be? He lifted up the bush and glanced at it. It was a hammer. What was a hammer doing at such a distinct, odd location? Did someone leave it here? Who would come up here anyway? It was dangerous here. It made no sense. Before he picked it up, Jack pondered the meaning of this coincidental occurrence. Mr. Imagination couldn't think of any reason someone would leave a hammer like that in the middle of nowhere in a lava area. Oh well, he said after a while, and picked up the axe. It seemed on fire, but it wasn't. It was strange. It was a very fine axe. Even though Jack had never been a blacksmith, he recognized the material and was in awe by its sophisticated handiwork. Surely this was a valuable object he could sell to the villagers and get some money or food in return. But then he thought about it. He had been a little scared to go on since the lava was unpredictable and deadly. But now that Jack had found this hammer, he saw it as a sign. He took it as a sign that positivity was ahead, that there was still hope, and that he was headed in the right direction. He held the hammer. It was truly brilliant. It had an aura he had never seen before, as if some kind of power was radiating from its very core. With that in mind, he went on and climbed higher up the mountain. Nevertheless, for safety reasons, he deviated somewhat from his course, hiking around the mountain to avoid more lava and reach the other side. Chapter 4: The Fish. Jack reached the other side of the mountain in a few hours. He was surprised by the speed with which he managed to finish his journey. The view in front of him was breathtaking. He was looking at a raw piece of nature, an untouched particle of land that had been hidden from society as he knew it. His gaze extended farther than he had ever been able to imagine, and enthusiastically he descended down the mountain to the beautiful lake in front of him. The water was reflecting the sunlight. The mountains behind it had a purplish glow about them, caused by the slow sunset at the moment Jack reached the shore. There were trees, tons of trees, more than he could carry home. It was unfortunate that he didn't have any more bags to carry lumber in. He had only 2. But for now it was enough. He could sell the valuable hammer and some of the logs he would chop here, and with that money could easily be exchanged for some food for his family. He was glad he came here. It was worth it in the end. It was getting dark, though, and Jack knew he wouldn't accomplish much by chopping in the dark. He set up camp, which didn't consist of more than a simple blanket he pulled out of his backpack, and his backpack that served as a somewhat comfortable pillow. It was night, there was no moon, and the stars didn't provide enough light to help him on his quest. He decided to go to sleep, and within minutes, he did. In the middle of the night, he woke up with a jolt. "Whoa, what?" he said. He looked around him. Something was wrong. Where was the light coming from? He looked to the second bag he had laid against a tree trunk. Light was emanating from it. It was highly unusual, and Jack wanted to discover everything about this weird phenomenon. How a bag could glow in the dark he did not know, but he was about to find out. He did not hesitate, and reached inside the bag. It was the hammer. The hammer was glowing. What kind of a hammer was this? Certainly this was not an ordinary hammer. "Let's try it out," Jack said to himself. He swung the hammer backwards and hit it against a tree. Crack! The tree immediately split in half. "Wow! Such power! Such strength!" Jack exclaimed. He was astounded by the immense force of this dangerous weapon, but the fact that it was glowing still raised questions in his mind. He decided to use it again. He lifted the hammer up and hit it on the ground as hard as he could. The ground cracked, and the hammer showed sparks and electric bolts. "Very interesting," Jack mumbled. "Electricity, huh? I think I just might have another way to provide for my family. Let's see how this little bugger works on water." He walked to the lake and did the same thing. He lifted the hammer behind his head and swung with all his might. Ka-zap! He watched in amazement as the whole lake lit up like fireworks. Threads and wired spinning bolts of electricity emerged from the surface. Light blue and white flashes of shocking energy went through the vast, watery elements of nature. It was a gorgeous sight and a powerful experience. Jack had never seen anything like it. It lasted for a while, after which the electricity finally seemed to disappear. Jack went back to sleep. The next morning, he woke up by the smell of fish. It reeked a little, but it didn't take long for Jack to find out why. He looked at the lake and saw hundreds of dead fish floating on the surface, perhaps thousands. Anyway, there were too many for him to count, and his mouth fell open when the reality of the situation got through to him. This was the change of his life. Chapter 5. Enough. Jack knew not to go into the water. He didn't trust it. The electricity might be gone by now, but he still did not want to take the risk. Within a few hours, he chopped some trees and used his tools to create a little raft. He put the raft in the water. Wood was a safe substance, he figured. He took another log and cut the end into a point. Then he jumped on the raft. Nothing went wrong. He rowed to the nearest fish and started pulling them out of the water with his pointy log. He touched the fish. Safe. No shock. Great, he thought. I am just going to fill up my bags with these delicious fish. Watch, we'll have enough for the next few weeks if we make sure that we preserve them well. If they don't rot, we should be able to feed our kids for a while. No sooner said than done. Jack filled up both bags with 50 fish. They were crammed inside his bags, leaving little room for the mysterious hammer, but just enough to not forget about it. After all, if this hammer had such power, who knew what else he could do with it? Jack got his stuff together and left for home. He walked around the mountain again, following the same route he had followed on the way there. At the end of the day, he was glad to see the little cottage he called home. "Guess who's home, kids?" he shouted with a smile as he entered the room. "Dad!" the children screamed in excitement, running at him and giving him a hug. "Dad, Lucy took my branch and I hit her, but then Mom said I shouldn't hit," Bart, the middle child, said as he patted Dad on his leg. "Your mother is right," Jack said. "You shouldn't hit. Next time, just ask for the stick back, and if she doesn't give it back, just tell Mom about it first." "What do you have in your bags? It smells weird," Lisa said, as she tilted one of the bags a little. "That is a surprise," Jack said. "Hello, Jack," Elizabeth said. "How did it go?" "Elizabeth, sweetie," Jack began, "I think I found a permanent solution to our problems." He put the bags on the table and one of the fish fell out of a bag. "Fish," Elizabeth said joyfully. "I love fish. Where did you get them?" "At the lake behind the mountain," Jack said proudly. "There is more than enough for all of us." Elizabeth was happy. She began to unpack all the fish Jack had gathered and put them in the kitchen, organizing them carefully and cutting one up for dinner. The oldest children got a fire going, after which the whole family had a delicious meal. They were well fed, something that hadn't happened for some time. Chapter 6. The Viking God. Jack woke up. Elizabeth, his wife, was lying in his arms.
The sunlight was shining brightly through the cracks between the curtains. Jack stretched his arms and quietly stepped out of bed, heading downstairs to see if the hammer was still there. There it was, lying on the table, untouched by his curious children. He still had a hard time believing what this amazing weapon could do, and he was eager to find out more about it. Now that he saw it, he wasn't even certain anymore if he wanted to sell it or not. He knew he could probably get a lot of money for such a beautiful object, but perhaps using it would save him so much work and time that providing for his family would be easier in the years to come. He took the hammer outside. Perhaps pounding the burnt trees would have a different effect, or maybe he could electrocute some bushes. As he was considering all his options, he felt like a little boy again, who was discovering the forces of nature around him. But then he suddenly heard a thunderous voice.
"That's my hammer," the man said.
"What?" Jack turned around and stood in front of a bearded man with a red cape. His eyes were blue like the sky, his hair was as orange as the fruit, and he was wearing heavy silver armor. From 100 feet away, the man kept walking at Jack with a steady pace.
"That is my hammer," he repeated as he came closer.
He looked a little angry. "No, it's not," Jack said. "I found it, so it belongs to me."
"You found it because I lost it," the man said.
"How do I know you're not just trying to take it from me?"
The man laughed. "Ha ha 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 ha! Do you have any idea what this hammer can do? What it's made of? This hammer is made by the gods. It has been composed by fresh lava forged with iron. With it, one can control the weather, electricity, storms, everything."
Without further ado, the man snatched the hammer from Jack's hands and told him to stand back. For some reason, Jack thought it would be wiser to just obey this mysterious cape guy. Thor looked around him and spread his legs. He chanted some unintelligible words and raised his arm with the hammer in it to the heavens. Loud thunder ripped the sky, and thick black clouds were gathered as one and crashed into each other with unimaginable strength. Lightning flashed through the dark contrast of the heavens, creating a striking display of natural elements in commotion. Rain flooded the soil in less than 30 seconds, changing the weather instantly and showing off with a grand performance. "That is crazy," Jack said. "I didn't know it could do that."
"There are many things you don't realize," the man said.
"Yes, like what your name is," Jack added. "I don't even know who you are. Who are you?"
"My name is Thor. I am the god of thunder," the man in the cape says.
"Seriously?
Wow."
The storm calmed down. The rain was gone. Thor walked to Jack and asked him kindly if he could have his hammer back, seeing that it was his in the first place. "But if I give you the hammer back," Jack protested, "then how am I going to feed my family? This hammer is exactly how I got all the fish."
"Oh, yes," Thor said. "Before I forget, that's another thing I wanted to mention. Do you realize what you've done?"
"No, what are you talking about?" Jack asked.
"You've upset the balance. Nature has been disturbed. You weren't thinking when you electrocuted the water, were you?"
"Of course I was. What is that supposed to mean?"
"Let me explain," Thor said.
Chapter 7. Catching Fish. Thor rolled his eyes and starts.
"When you electrocuted the entire lake with my hammer, all the fish died."
"Yeah, so? Who cares?" Jack asked rhetorically.
"Well, did you ever think about what would happen in the long run? No more fish means no more fish in the future. Since they are all dead, they cannot even have any new fish. The cycle has been broken. In order to create more fish, you need fish. Get it?"
Jack scratched his head. He never thought about it that way. Now that he killed all the fish in the lake, no other fish would be born, and that was a problem. I understand, he said as he sighed. I'm sorry. I didn't think of it. But do people actually go there to fish?
Sometimes, but since you killed them all, that would be rather pointless, wouldn't it? Thor said.
What can we do? Jack asked.
We? Thor asked. I am not going to do anything. You caused this dilemma. You solve it. But I will give you a hint. Have you ever heard of Miner's Creek?
No, never.
Then I will take you there. Let's go.
That way? Jack asked. I've never been that way.
Ah, you didn't know there is a river there? Thor asks.
No, I never knew.
Oh well, follow me then. But first, let's get you a fishing rod and some bait.
Thor held the hammer in front of him and said some strange words that Jack didn't understand. The hammer began to radiate lightning bolts and bright flashes. In the middle, a circle of light appeared, as if something was being created from thin air. Slowly but certainly, the circle started to take shape, and a fishing rod was being formed. Nice, Jack admitted. I don't think I could have done that.
There is so much more that this hammer can do, Thor said. But it belongs to me, and shouldn't be in the hands of a mortal. I understand that you are struggling, that you can't provide for your family, and that this is the reason why you electrocuted the lake. You probably just wanted as many fish as you could carry, and didn't mind the future of the lake. So I will make you a deal. If you put at least 10 fish in that lake, 5 from each species, then I will make sure that they are alive and well. I will use my powers to ascertain that they repopulate the lake. You give me this hammer back, and in return, I will control the weather and help you provide for your family.
That sounds like an excellent deal, Jack said. Could you please show me where the river is?
Of course, Thor said.
Together they walked to the river on the other side of the mountain. They talked about life, about family, about the climate, nature, fish, chopping wood, using the hammer, and much more. The hike took a few hours, but eventually they arrived at the beautiful flowing river. They set up the fishing gear, and Thor magically created some bait with his hammer. I don't know why I didn't know about this before, Jack said.
Well, now you do. I'll see you later, Thor said.
Wait, where are you going? Jack asked.
To Valhalla, Thor answered.
He lifted up his hammer to the sky and ascended in a straight line as if he was being beamed up by some unknown force. Jack prepared the bait he got from Thor and put his rod in the river. It was boring. Terribly boring. Using the hammer to electrocute them was so much easier. Too bad he couldn't do that anymore. Fishing took forever. Ugh.
So boring.
Aha! I think I got one, Jack said as he jumped up and started pulling the rod toward him. He hauled in the result. It was an old shoe. Ugh, this is driving me crazy, he said in frustration. How can people do this for fun? But even though it took a toll on his patience, after a while, he caught enough fish. He put them in a container with water and brought them back home to take a rest. Chapter 8. Balance Restored. More fish! Yummy! One of the children exclaimed. No. These are not for food, Jack said. What? Why not? They have to be thrown back into the lake. What's going on, honey? Elizabeth asked. Not much. I'm just putting these fish into the lake so that they can procreate and make sure there will be enough fish in the future there. After explaining the details to his wife and kids, and telling them about the mysterious god Thor with his red cape, Jack ate something and left on his journey to the other side of the mountain. The lava was gone. It was as if Thor had made it disappear to make it easier for Jack. The journey was heavier, though, because he had to carry all those fish and the water. But when he arrived at the lake, he was proud of himself. He had restored the balance in nature. He had done as he was asked. Now he just hoped for miracles to have enough food for his wife and kids. He would have to trust Thor's promise. As he thought of the consequences of this deal, he tossed the fish into the lake and watched them dive under. Then he headed back home and was able to make it back a little after dark. In the years after that, strange things happened. Jack taught his children how to fish and duplicated the fishing rod with some homemade equipment. Occasionally, he would join the kids and accompany them when they were fishing, even though the activity in itself was pretty boring. At other times, he would suddenly find a few trees that hadn't been there the day before. Their growth had been stimulated by the heavy storm the night before, and it was amazing how they seemed to pop out of nowhere, so that Jack could chop them and sell wood to the villagers. The most miraculous thing that had ever happened was this. Jack's family was out of food. They didn't know what to do. All the trees were gone, the fish didn't seem to bite, and he had to scavenge for fruits in the forest. They went to bed hungry that night. The next day, however, when he opened the door, a dead deer lay in front of his little cottage. "Elizabeth!" Jack shouted. "Look!" His wife ran downstairs and watched the dead deer. She was amazed. Where did this come from? Jack bent over and examined the carcass. "It's a little burnt, as if it got struck by lightning or something," he said, moving his finger over the animal's skin. "Sounds like we're having deer for dinner tonight," Elizabeth said with a smile before she walked back in. They were happy, and they were taken care of. The elements of nature seemed to be in their favor, and Jack knew exactly why. The end. This has been Viking Myth, the epic tale of a lumberjack and his magic hammer, Kids' Adventure Stories, written by Jeff Child, narrated by John H. Feskins. Copyright 2017 by Jeff Child. Production copyright 2017 by Jeff Child. Mineshaft Miners, Explosive Stories by Miner Friends, Adventure Stories for Kids. Written by Jeff Child, narrated by John H. Feskins. Introduction. This story is about 3 friends, and all of them are miners. They work at the mine shaft outside the village, but when something goes wrong, they are split up and have to figure out a way to remove the obstacles in front of them. The forces of nature are working against them, as well as evil lurking beneath the shadows. Will they fight the monsters and get through? Listen about it and find out. Chapter 1. Things We Need. Hi, my name is Ralph, and my 2 friends are Melvin and Garen. We are miners, and we have been doing this all our lives. In the mines, we find all kinds of valuable items, building blocks, if you will, that help us build our villages and survive in the bare lands. For example, we have come across granite blocks, diorite, andesite, coarse dirt, gold ore, coal ore, iron, and smooth sandstone. Some of these can be found in the mine shafts, and so day after day we go in with our pickaxes, barrels, and helmets, and pick at the rocky walls to get the most valuable items out. Melvin has a diamond pickaxe, Garen carries a stone pickaxe, and me? I have a golden pickaxe. It was given to me by my grandfather, and I keep it safe from thieves. It's a family heirloom, and I have used it for all those years now. I still remember the day everything went wrong, though. I was okay with my job, but I was ready for something else. I wanted to take a break, a huge break, and that day was the worst and the best day of my life, because it gave me the opportunity to do more. "Yo, Ralph, are you coming?" Garen asked. I was staring at the sunrise. Miners arrive early, you know. "Sure," I quickly said. "I'll be right there." And that's when it began. I ran over to the other 2 men and entered the mine shaft for the 5th time that week. "I wonder what we'll find this time," Melvin said. "Last week we only found a few polished andesite blocks." "You never know. That's the fun part about this job," Garen said. "I don't know, guys. I am ready for a break," I said. "Huh, a break? You'll never get a break.
You can't get rich with this job, you know, Melvin said. And why should you? Aren't you enjoying life? Say, how is that lovely wife of yours? And how are the kids?
Oh, they're fine, I said. I don't mind my life at all. I am just not finding too much fulfillment in my work. Hitting my pickaxe in the rocks each time entertains me only for so long.
Ha ha! I know what you mean, Garen said. The other day, I was still carving rocks in my sleep. My wife patted me on the back, and I almost elbowed her in the face as I woke up. But what are you worried about, Ralph? Melvin said. Where would you go?
Here, I said, holding a postcard of some tropical beach resort in front of me.
Wow, that looks like a nice vacation spot, but how could we ever afford that?
I don't know. Maybe I'll find out someday. Let's get to work. I just wanted to let you know what was on my mind.
Sure, man. Don't stop dreaming. It's all good.
With those words, we picked up a tool and started chipping away some rocky walls. It was heavy work, just like all the other days, but it was a good exercise to build some muscle, and sometimes we were lucky enough to find some valuable resources. We just didn't realize yet how long the day would be this time. Chapter 2. Blocked. I was having some fun. It wasn't as terrible as I thought it would be. The air was cool, and the sweat on my body was bearable. With every hit, I felt my biceps tense up, and I heard the compliments in the back of my mind that my wife made. "You're so strong and muscled," she had mentioned a few times. "I like it." It put a smile on my face. That's right, I was a strong guy. Nothing wrong with that. Perhaps it was a better choice than being at the library all day studying some kind of science or some other nonsense. This was a workout. And then it happened. Something got miscalculated, or something.
Hey, Garen, Melvin said. Don't chop any further over there. It looks very unstable. If you cut that down, the whole mine shaft will collapse. Oh, don't be such a dramatic, panicky, anxious, whatever. It will be okay. Besides, I think there is a lot of good stuff behind that stalagmite over there.
That was Garen's answer. I didn't know what to think, though. It looked a little unstable, but we had seen shapes like that in the mine shaft before. It was nothing new.
What do you think, Ralph? Melvin asked.
Oh, great. Now I had to decide. And if something went wrong, it would all be my fault, right? I hated this. It happened all the time. Melvin and Garen weren't always on the same page, and whenever they disagreed, they asked me to make the final decision. And in all the years I had worked at the mine shaft, this day proved again that nothing had changed. Fortunately, though, I had always gone with my gut feeling and had made the correct decisions. I had years of experience, and I wasn't going to let my ego get in the way. It doesn't look stable enough, Garen. Sorry. Sometimes you're right, but I think I have to give it to Melvin this time. It would be better to mine in the other tunnel. Garen was upset.
You're just saying that because you're afraid, he said.
No, that's not it. Look at this thing. Chop it over and the ceiling won't hold.
I don't believe you, Garen said. And I think we can only get through if we get rid of this stalagmite holding it up. Besides, we came all this way, and now you want to go to a different tunnel? Then all the work we did in the past few hours would have been in vain. No, I'm not going to let that happen. Watch me.
He swung his pickaxe back.
No!
I yelled, but it was too late. Garen swung his pickaxe forward and chopped down the stalagmite. The whole mine shaft shook. The ceiling started collapsing. Garen was wrong. It was too risky, and now it was too late.
Let's go! Let's go!
Garen yelled, running towards the exit. No, you'll be crushed, I shouted, holding him back.
Let go of me, Garen said.
Then the tunnel collapsed in front of him. I was holding on to him tightly, knowing that if he would have taken any more steps, he would have been pulverized by the broken ceiling. He looked at me angrily.
This is all your fault, he said. Look, we're stuck. Now how are we going to get home?
My fault? If I recall correctly, you were the one who was stuck on destroying that stalagmite. I advised against it, remember?
Well, let's not play the blame game. It doesn't matter. Silly Garen, always trying to come up with excuses. He was a hard worker, and I appreciated him a lot, but sometimes he would drive me nuts with his way of rationalizing everything he did. But he was right. We were definitely stuck, and we didn't see a way out. Luckily, we had our flashlights, and the lights on our helmets worked, but besides those, it was completely obscure. We looked around us. We were able to keep going through the tunnel, but not back. So whether or not the other side of the tunnel would lead us to freedom was the million-dollar question. Chapter 3. Pointless. "Melvin, can you hear us?" I yelled.
"I can hear you guys. Just hang in there. I think I might have some dynamite. I can have it blow up and get you out."
"Okay, hold on," I said. "Garen, we have to stand back. Melvin's going to blow up the boulders in front of us."
"Sure," Garen said. "Let's blow this thing up."
Sometimes I thought he was born without fear. He took a lot more risks than we did, and he didn't always listen to us. Melvin went back and attached the dynamite. It took a few minutes before he got back, and another few to install everything.
"Get ready, guys. This thing is going to be a big boom."
"Okay, we're far enough, I think," I yelled back. "Go ahead."
"I'm going to count to 3, Melvin shouted. 1, 2, 3.
Boom! Something blew up, that was for sure. But not the wall that was in our way. It was still there. It shook a little, but it was as if the dynamite wasn't strong enough. We coughed because of the dust in the air. "What happened?" I asked.
"It wasn't effective at all," Melvin said on the other side. "It just blew a few small rocks away. The wall is too thick. I'm going to try again. Stand back, please."
"Ready whenever you are," I yelled.
"Okay, here we go again. 1, 2, 3.
Boom! Again, the earth shook a little, but it seemed useless. We couldn't get out. We had to think of something else.
"Let's just explore the other side of the tunnel," Garen suggested. "I know there is something of value there. I have a hunch."
"Really? Just like you had a good feeling about taking down the stalagmite?" I asked sarcastically.
"Oh, don't you dare start with me. There's got to be something in there. We have flashlights. Let's just take a look."
"Fine, I'll let Melvin know." I walked towards the boulders that were in our way and yelled, "Hey, Melvin, we're going to explore the tunnels, okay?"
"Sounds good to me. I have a plan to get you out of there. Don't worry, I'll be back in no time."
"Okay, Garen, let's see what's out there." Chapter 4. Explosive Monsters. As Garen and I ventured through the other side of the tunnel, Melvin had an insane idea. I learned about what he went through later and allowed him to write in my diary what happened at that moment.
"This is Melvin. I am writing the account of my adventure after I noticed the dynamite did nothing. I was fed up with that stuff. I had been for years. We needed something stronger, something heavier. Dynamite wasn't going to cut it. So I ran out and went to the fields where I could find explosive monsters. Just in case you haven't heard of those crawling creatures, they explode big time, boom in your face stuff. And their explosions are powerful. Therefore, I figured that all I had to do was to have one come into the mine and explode near the boulders that were blocking their path. But how? They wouldn't just follow me. You can't just go to an explosive monster and say, 'Hey, monster, can you help me out and explode in the mine over there?' No, I had to think of a trick to lure them there. I went to the fields outside of town, way outside of our hometown. If they wouldn't be so far away, the villagers would have probably taken care of them anyway. These creepy monster things, or whatever they were, just hung out on the fields night and day. Weird. But who cares? I was going to get one to follow me. I ran to the field and saw some of them stand there, not really reacting to my presence. I didn't know what to say. Now what? Then I thought of the only thing I could say. 'The monsters are there! Can you help me out and explode in the mine over there?' Ironic. I didn't think it would work, but it did. They didn't talk or say, "Sure." No, they dashed at me. "Wah!" I screamed. I ran as fast as I could, faster than my legs could carry me. So fast I didn't think I had any legs left anymore, actually. I looked back, and to my horror, I noticed a dozen green monsters following me to the mine. They were all running after me with those crazy paws they use to move themselves. I ran and ran, and when I arrived at the mine, I jumped aside. Without thinking, they sped forward and missed me, ending up in the mine all at the same time. Boom! It was the biggest explosion I had ever seen in my life. Hopefully it didn't harm my friends, but as I saw the dust disappear and the vapors of smoke rise after the humongous explosion, I noticed I blew up half the mine shaft. Whoops.
Chapter 5, The Most Valuable One. Ralph here. This was before the explosion. While Melvin was implementing his crazy plans, we were slowly exploring the cave with our flashlights. It was pretty dark, but it was easy to see in the areas where we shone our lights.
"Say, Ralph," Garen started, "how did you get this job anyway?"
My grandfather did it, then my dad did it, and so what else could I do? I said. How about you?
"Oh, I wanted to be a miner all my life. I studied materials when I was young. I was very interested in all the different blocks and resources. And when my dad showed me some dynamite, man, I was sold. It was awesome. I didn't want to do anything else."
"So this is your dream come true, huh?" I asked.
"You betcha. It's amazing just to explore all of these new territories and empty mines and caves. I don't know about you, but I feel alive, like every day is a new adventure."
I had never looked at it that way. I guess there was some truth in that. Garen was right. Perhaps if I could find a new sparkle of passion in my work and enjoy some of the things we did a little more, I wouldn't be stuck on dreaming about some tropical paradise. I could actually learn from this stubborn guy. "Hey, what's that?" I suddenly asked.
"What? What?"
"Nothing. Gotcha. I didn't see anything, doofus."
"No, I think there really is something," Garen said.
"Huh? The thing I said that wasn't true just to joke around turned out to be true after all? Strange."
"Oh, I thought that you were joking about the fact that you were joking," Garen said as he went closer to the shining object. "This is great. Look at this."
"What is it?" I asked.
"You haven't heard of these?" he asked.
"No."
"It's a bottle o' enchanting. You can sell these things for anywhere between 3 and 11 emeralds each. And look how many we bumped into."
He shone his light into a dark corner, and the bottle's glass reflected his flashlight. There were at least 100 bottles. It was as if someone had stacked them there, or lost them. It was a mystery, but at the same time, I didn't mind taking them. "Wow, let's put them into the bags over there," I said. "If we get out of the mine shaft, we can become rich."
"Rich!"
Garen repeated enthusiastically while bending over and picking them up. We both put them in the bags and started carrying them with us. It was as simple as that. Chapter 6, The River. We moved on to the end of the tunnel and saw a light. Nice, this was our way out. But what was that sound? We heard something getting louder and louder.
"I think there is a river underneath here," Garen said.
"Sounds like it. Did you know that?"
"No. Strange that I never noticed that, although we are pretty far away from our original spot, so it makes sense."
"Well, let's check it out." We came closer and saw an opening with a steady stream emerging into some kind of waterfall. "Whoa, do you see how far that goes?" I asked.
"No, I can't see anything. I don't know what to do."
We stared at it for several minutes, trying to decide if we wanted to take the bags with the bottles and just jump into it, or try a different route. But then something happened. We heard an explosion. Okay, we heard 2 explosions before, but this one was louder and bigger than the other ones. It was huge and it hurt our ears. Boom! All sounds afterwards seemed to be muffled. as our ears were still ringing and we couldn't hear anything. It was as if we were deaf. We tried to yell and say something, but all we noticed was the other's mouth moving. No sound. After about a minute or two, our hearing came somewhat back. "What was that?" I asked.
"Must be Melvin," Garen said.
"Has he gone crazy?"
"I don't know, but it looks like things are getting even scarier down here. Look, the ceiling is collapsing again. That was a major explosion, man."
"What shall we do?" I asked.
"Let's jump down into the river," Garen suggested.
"Really? But we don't even know where it goes. We could die. What if we hit a sharp rock or something?"
"We could die here, too. It's just a matter of time before we get crushed. Let's just go for it. Don't think. Just follow me and jump!"
With those words echoing through the mineshaft, Garen held onto the bags and jumped down into the river. I looked backwards. He was right. The mineshaft was collapsing. I had to do it. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, then opened them again, and jumped after him. Chapter 7. Escaping. When I landed in the water, I immediately felt better, and even though I couldn't breathe yet, I had to hold my breath, of course. I was relieved that I hadn't hit a rock or something. I held onto the bags tightly, making sure we wouldn't lose our precious treasure. Then I swam up and reached above the surface.
"There you are," Garen said. "Good job. Now we just have to go with the flow and head over there."
He pointed to the right, and I saw an opening in the cave we ended up in. "Sounds good. Let's go," I said, and we kept swimming. It took a long time since it appeared closer than it was, but eventually we reached the end and ended up in the bigger part of the river. It was beautiful. The river was flowing through meadow fields with trees and bushes everywhere. Finally, we were able to see the sunlight. We had escaped the rocky prison that held us captive, and now we were swimming in the water.
"We made it, Garen!" I exclaimed happily. "Yes, and we're going to be well off financially, too. Let's go over there."
We climbed out of the river and looked at each other. We were soaked, but we both had the bags with magical bottles in them. After a 1-hour hike around the mountain, we met up with Melvin. "What did you do?" we asked. "That was the biggest boom we ever heard."
"Those green monsters," was his answer.
"Oh." We understood immediately and started laughing. What a weirdo. He just got a bunch of explosive monsters to follow him? Wow, that's commitment.
"It was awesome," Garen said. "We should do it again sometime."
"And guess what we found in there?" I said. I showed him the bag with bottles o' enchanting. His eyes got bigger and a smile appeared on his face. We discussed how to split up the treasure and divided it between the three of us. When I came home and told my wife about it, she was ecstatic. We celebrated that night. The next day, I already found someone who would buy the bottles for a high price. Immediately after that, we booked a vacation to a world-class beach resort, something we had always wanted. Chapter 8. Holiday. There we were, at a utopia beyond our dreams. We took a boat to a deserted island and were sunbathing in our swimsuits, just my wife and I. The kids were staying at one of my brother's homes who volunteered to babysit them. This was the life. As I took a sip of my tropical drink, I asked my wife what she thought we should do with the rest of the money. "I don't know," she said honestly. "Perhaps we can buy a bigger house and have more children?" "You want more than the 3 we already have? How many?" "Oh, let's just start with 6 or 7. "What? That's a lot of kids." "Yes, but if they all look like you, they will be super cute," she said with a smile. I didn't know what to say to that, but another guy who had ended up on the same beach came over and commented on it. "If you can afford it, doesn't sound like a bad idea, you two. I have 5 children myself." "And what made you be able to afford that, as well as a luxurious vacation like this one?" I asked. "Well, I was a village clerk," the guy said. "I had a bunch of bottles o' enchanting stacked up in an old mine shaft somewhere. It used to be safe,
and I thought I could just come back after a decade or two and get them for my retirement plan.
I looked at my wife. And then what? I asked.
Some giant stalagmite had grown in front of it. It was blocking my way, so I couldn't get to it. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because after that, I went into the oil trade and made tons more money. It makes me wonder what happened to the bottles, though.
I swallowed and smiled. Then I leaned over to my wife and asked quietly, "Shall we tell him?" "I don't think he needs to know," my wife said. "He left them there, so they're not his anymore." "Okay, I won't tell," I whispered.
"What was that?"
the guy asked. "Oh, nothing," I said. "I just worked at a mine shaft. What a coincidence, right?"
"Really? Wow, life is full of surprises," he said.
And with that, we drank another sip of our tropical cocktail. The end. This has been Mineshaft Miners, explosive stories by miner friends, adventure stories for kids. Written by Jeff Child, narrated by John H. Feskins. Copyright 2017 by Jeff Child. Production copyright 2017 by Jeff Child.